Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms taking me live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling start to Tune Up Tuesday. Yes, it's that day of the week where we look at some tweaks and changes that may need to be made. Although some tweaks and changes may be major overhauls, or they could just be, let's make a slight adjustment here, let's make a slight adjustment there. Or it could be, let's take that engine out and give it a complete overhaul. So, where are you at with your business? Are you in the process of making a little change here and a little change there to your processes to help things flow more smoothly? Or are you sort of like, oh, we need a complete overhaul. We are going to rip the guts out of this business and rebuild it from the ground up, or we're going to scrap that business and we're going to start from the ground up with something new. Which way are you going to go? Small tweak, major overhaul. It's kind of interesting when that happens. I mean, I've had times where I've had to do major overhauls, taking a business I currently have and major overhauling it, like basically ripping the guts out of it and almost starting from the ground up. But I'm not really starting from the ground up because I still have that foundation in place. So we're ripping down the walls and rebuilding. We're keeping the foundation. We're just ripping down the walls and rebuilding on the same area. Or it could be like, this plot is too small. Let's move it out and build something brand new over here. So it's a complete new business. There's times that's happened. So what stage is your business at? Making little tweaks and changes, or really thinking about it's time to have a major overhaul? This is what this global pause has been so amazing with. Because about a year or two before everything happened in 2020, I actually had a conversation with a coach and told him that, I was journaling, and out of the end of my pen came, what would happen if I no longer did travel? What would I do? And it literally scared the crap out of me. When I saw that down on paper, I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought of giving up the travel business. Not at all. No. That's like my foundation. That is like, it just scared me so much. And then I was talking with my accountability coach, and she said, and I was telling her this, she says, you need to get on the phone right now. And so I called Casey, and I said to him, this is what's happened. And he turns around and says, okay. He said, if travel was to go away tomorrow, remember, this was 2018. This was in 2018. No, 2019. 2019, because it was a year before. So this was in around January, February 2019. I have to go back through my journals to figure out exactly what the date was, but I do have it written in my journal. Maybe in 2018. Oh, anyway, it was well over a year before everything started last year. And he said, well, tell me this. He said, if travel was to go away tomorrow, what would you do? And immediately out of my mouth came genealogy. He said, then that's what you do. He says, start exploring now for when you want to make the transition. He knew the transition was going to come at some point. So he says, this is what I want you to do. He said, I want you to start going investigating how you do that, how you go about it, what you need to do to get it all set up and running and everything. So he was getting me to put the markers in place, so when I was ready to pull the trigger, I could pull it. Then what happened? Just over a year later, everything shuts down. Travel literally went away overnight. And I was sort of like, genealogy. And, here we are over a year later. Yes, the travel's still there in the background. And yes, travel is starting to come back in some areas, but there are some countries that the ones that I want to concentrate on the most and I want to specialize in, that I like, still shut down. And one of them still is back to a level 4. So New Zealand, Australia is where I want to concentrate my travel business on, but everything is like zipped up tight down there. New Zealand's back on level 4 because of one case that popped up in one little community that's kind of spread a little bit. And but they're doing a good job of keeping it contained. If that's, I mean, New Zealand's done a phenomenal job through this whole thing anyway. But they're back in level 4 right now, and so they're not going to be opening their borders anytime soon. So that's kind of just on the back burner. But in the meantime, genealogy is taking off. People are wanting to find out, where did I come from? What are, tying their events to history, that sort of thing. So we've gone through a major overhaul. So last year, travel business went away literally overnight. That whole building crumbled. The foundation is still there, but the building fell down. But we've rebuilt on a different site the genealogy business. So, are you in the middle of a tweaks and changes, or are you in the middle of a major overhaul, or are you patching, or is your tweaks and changes patching holes that are starting to appear, and cracks and holes that are starting to appear faster than you can patch? Is it time to tear it down and rebuild in a major overhaul? That's a decision you have to make. So on that note, your question of the day, and this is always a good topic to get into. Your question of the day: when you went to college and you studied for your degree or your associate's degree, whatever it was, and it doesn't matter whether it's a 2-year college, 4-year college, or 3-year college, whatever. When you went to college to study, what did you study? And are you still involved in that field of study today? So, for example, I went back to school when I moved to the US, and I was at the Northern Virginia Community College, and I was studying hospitality. Well, hospitality management, hotel management, and restaurant management. I did 3 associate degrees at once. Yeah, I know, I'm an overachiever. No, not really. It was a simple matter of, here's the curriculum for each one, and you get to put, and these are the classes that are required for these 3 associate degrees. They give you a piece of card so you can keep track of everything. And you're looking down and you go, okay, I've got this one that goes across all of them. This one goes across all of them. This one goes this one and this one, but not that one. Well, I can take this one here and use it as an elective, and this one over here. So it's just a case of doing like 3 or 4 extra classes and getting 3 associate degrees at once, all in the hospitality field. Did I follow that field after I left? Absolutely. I went out of college, and let's see, I graduated in 2000, and I started working for Marriott in 2000, and May 30th, 2000. I think it was. That was the Monday after. That was the Tuesday after Memorial Day. It was the Tuesday after Memorial Day of 2000. I started working for Marriott International, and I stayed with them for just over 10 years before I was laid off due to a restructure, which was fine. I was happy with that because I had already started my travel business, so I was still in the hospitality, in that hotel mindset with the because when I started doing the travel business, we were going cruises. I had never stepped foot on a cruise ship, never been on a cruise, never had a cruise before. But as I was learning, it was like, oh, these are floating resorts. I know hotels. Now I know cruise ships. It was that kind of a transformation. For me, it was easier to make that. So my learning curve, instead of going straight up like this, had a slight bend in it, had a nice gentle curve instead of like a straight up line for the learning side of it. So it was very interesting. And so I was, I've been with that. Let's see. We started that business in 2008. I was laid off from Marriott in 2010 and went out to, and this month, actually, this month I passed my 13-year anniversary of actually signing the documents. But the way the franchise company works is that your time with them doesn't actually start until the first of the month after you finish your franchise training. Well, we signed the documents in August of 2008, but we didn't go to franchise training until March 2009. So our official start date is 1st of April 2009, which is kind of cool when you think your first year is like several months. It could be several months longer than a year. So I've officially passed my 12-year mark with them, but unofficially it's been 13. This month was 13 years since we signed up with them, and I started the learning process of cruise ships and everything. That's been, so I put all that together since 2000. So 21 years involved in the hospitality, travel, tourism industry area, in some form or another. So that's kind of like, yeah, I've done that. But I know people who have gone and studied like accounting and ended up doing sales or something completely different, going and being a tour guide somewhere. I've known people who started off going to like something like beauty school as hairdressers and stuff, and ended up with a multi-million-dollar business doing in a completely different field that had absolutely nothing to do with what they learned back in getting their beautician's license or whatever it is that they get for the hairdressing, cosmetology, all of that sort of stuff. So people I know people who have started their studies in one field, graduated with those studies, and it could have been from a trade school, a college, a community college, whatever it was that you started training in, and they are in a field that has absolutely nothing to do with what they went to college for. So it's interesting to see that. So, 21 years I've been involved in the hospitality / travel and tourism industry in some form or another. So it's been kind of interesting. Yeah. And I actually still use some of the stuff I learned back then. I still use to this day. So it's kind of interesting because some of the stuff that you learn in hospitality can be applied across many different businesses. So, just being that friendly, smiling face that they see when they walk in the door. So what industry, so what did you get your degree in, your certifications, and by degree, I mean, it could be a 4-year degree, a 3-year degree, a 2-year degree, or it could be from a trade school like mechanics, plumbing, electrician, any of those ones that have the apprenticeships, and then you go and do the classes and the exams and qualify and you keep your certifications up, that sort of stuff as well. So it's not just college degrees, it even includes trade schools and 2-year colleges as well. So what did you study after you left high school? And are you still involved in those trades and that trade in one way or another today? Or are you on something completely different? So it's always interesting to find out. Anyway, I'm out of here. I got some really cool work to go do today. Yes. I'm finishing a long-term project today, so I'm super excited about that. I should have that done in about the first 30, 40 minutes. Yay! So I'm super excited about that one. And it's just going to be an amazing, super fantastic sparkling day because I have so much. Looking at my to-do list, I'm like, I get to finish that project today. Yes! So this project's taken several weeks to do. So I'm glad I finally get to zip that one up today and go, it is done. I really want to put in a different program to check it, but I can't. So that one's going to have to wait a little bit. But yeah, it's basically going to be finished today. I'll do a final check through as soon as after I've done the last portion of it and basically done everything on the to-do list that needs to be done for that project. I will then turn around, take a break, come back, take like a five minute break, come back to it. I may even go do some other tasks on the to-do list that I have for this particular client, and then go back and do a final check through to make sure I got everything. It has been a very long project, so I am super glad to get that over and done with. But I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling day. Let us know, are you tuning up or major overhauling for your tune-up Tuesday? What are you doing? Tuning up or major overhaul? And is it a major overhaul as in you are completely changing businesses, or is it just a major overhaul in the fact that you're collapsing the building and building from and leaving the foundation there, but just rebuilding the building in a more stable way? That's up to you. But have a super fantastic sparkling day, and we'll catch you guys at 6 p.m. this evening. Hey, konara.